special on the current events and statistics specialist of the negative side of the debate. According to the article, whatever happened to upward mobility, the top 1% of US citizens account for 21% of America's income and 35% of its wealth. So what does that leave the rest of us with? To me, everyone who isn't in the top 1% can never feasibly hope to get there in their lifetime, unless a miraculous occurrence should happen, such as a family line disruptions, because that's often the case with CEOs and stuff like that. The rest of us are stuck in a miserable daily grind that becomes our jobs and forced to be reminded of how we are inferior to that elite 1% of the nation. Women and children feel inferior because they can never quite measure up to others by how much fancy clothing, jewelry, toys, or other luxuries that they have. Men are left to feel very unsatisfied because they are unable to provide their family with what that 1% has. It's a vicious cycle of unhappiness that can only get worse as the income gap increases. Along the same lines, opportunities are the basis of personal happiness. We all agree that in order to be happy, one must be going after opportunities so that you aren't just sitting around and being acted upon. Another statistic, in Whatever Happened to Upward Mobility, states that if you were born in the 1970s in the bottom 1/5 of the socioeconomic ladder, then you only had about a 70% chance of making it into the upper 2/5. That means that only 17 out of every 100 people were able to achieve such a feat. The other 83% of the people in this boat could not advance in society, no matter how hard they tried or how determined they were. And if you try all your life to get nothing, then how likely is it going to be that you're going to achieve a long-term happiness? I think not very likely. And according to the survey, are we happy yet? People with more education are generally happier with people that have less education. And some people cannot feasibly get a college education or even a high school education because they cannot afford it, must look after their family, or get a job to help with family finances. Another trend that contradicts this one, or that relates to this one, is that people that feel rushed are generally less happy than those that never feel rushed. And having a really high-paying job often exerts great amounts of stress on the employees, and they are often expected to rush all the time in their workplace. Therefore, people with more money are happy, but jobs that will make a person rich require lots of rushing, and that brings about unhappiness, which is a contradiction. Alright, and another issue is debt in America. Many high school students are told that they simply must attend college and pay a ridiculous amount of money for it so that they can one day have a decent job. But a recent statistic shows that 17 million college graduates are doing jobs that don't even require a college degree. That means that all those people have essentially wasted thousands and thousands of dollars getting a degree that will only keep them in debt for a long time, since the jobs that not requiring a college degree are most often the ones that do not pay high. And debt and happiness do not mix well. Another interesting statistic in Whatever Happened to Upward Mobility shows that a child who has parents that achieved a high level of education are more likely to succeed in school. And the opposite is true about parents that have not achieved a high level of education. The children with the parents that have not achieved a high level of education have a very difficult time achieving happiness because they cannot dig themselves out of the economic hole that their families have dug themselves into. Alright, I'm ready for presentation.
You ready?
Yes. Okay, so you have all these statistics about I don't remember what the number was, about people in the top half and the bottom half, whatever. Where's the proof that any of the people that aren't moving up are really trying?
Are you really going to be satisfied if you're poor and you don't really have the chance and you just have to sit around and get acted upon?
But the difference is how is someone who's not even trying to achieve their goal supposed to do it?
Well, they should try. If they're not trying, they don't have an excuse to be unhappy.
But not everyone's trying, so that would sway your stats, correct?
Well, yeah, but they're still unhappy. They're still unhappy though. So why does it matter?
Because part of our point is that people have to try and work to achieve their goal because it's not easy for everyone. You talk about college students working not so great jobs after they get out of college. Who's to say that just going to college was their dream and that made them happy? Who's to say that those college students are not happy?
Yeah, just because there's some people that aren't trying doesn't mean that there's not one people or a group of people that are trying as hard as they can and still can't get the opportunity.
Basically everything you used had to do with money. Who says that those that are not well off with money are not happy with their family or their friends or other parts of their life?
First of all, I can't really get statistics on that, and second of all, if you're dirt poor and you have nothing and your family's all rotting away, what's the chances that you're gonna be happy? I mean, I don't see it.
Well, In Raisin, the family was really poor, and then they had money, but it was
But
taken away from them.
irrelevant, not a
I'm
statistic. Irrelevant, not a statistic.
Okay. Um, oh no.
In Raisin, they're poor and their money made
Okay,
them
low-paying jobs. Just because they're not making a lot of money, how does
But
that mean they're not happy?
in the statistic, people with low-paying jobs said that they were generally less likely to be happy.